2. I think most of the people from I remember Marshall Bates said to me once, how the hell did a nerd like you get a room like that? It was at some party where she had a slit up to here on the side of her dress. You know.
I remember a party over at the Skeleton Club.
You remember her, right?
Oh, yeah. Who's that, John? You want some money?
That's my girlfriend.
On the floor.
That's my girlfriend.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed.
Finders keepers.
That's the college picture. There's the high school picture.
Wow. Good man.
Yeah. Nice lady.
Those two pictures have been in my wallet for 50 years. 50. The same two pictures.
That's great.
That was a really good embossment job.
That's
Nice
great.
job.
All right, Fast Eddie.
You bet.
I got it.
Hey, good
You
to
haven't
see
changed
you.
a bit, eh?
Thank you.
Still a white guy.
Yeah, and I'm trying to renew my my license. Remember?
All right,
For the
we'll-
fireman.
Yes.
Remember, I went to school.
Say
what was it?
farewell to the Genradders.
Something your father was teacher. And I got a fireman's license. This goes back, what, 60 years ago now or so.
That was a horse-drawn character, wasn't it? The horse-drawn.
No, it wasn't. No, this was a.
All right, here we are at the old Genrad plant in West Concord at the monthly meeting of the old guys.
Oh no, the old guys.
But not all of us are old, and today we are honored by the presence of Richard J. Faubert. Hello, Richie. Tell us all about yourself.
Tell me all about me. For starting when, Harold?
Well,
What year?
where'd you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts.
Where? Jamaica Plain.
Chilcott Place.
Okay.
27 Chilcott Place.
Near Paul Gore Street?
Yes.
My buddy went to Paul Gore Street. Good name?
Just off of Washington Street.
Yeah.
I could hear the elevated trains, which are now gone,
Yeah,
chunking by from my
indeed.
family.
And the movie theater around there.
Eggleston Square.
Eggleston Square, for God's sakes. And high school where?
Don Bosco Technical.
Don
High School. Started
Bosco.
studying electronics when I was 13.
Yeah. And where was that?
Freshman high school.
Fremont? What-
Oh no, that's right in downtown Boston.
Yeah, but what street?
Right near Tremont Street.
Tremont. Yeah, Tremont Street. Don Bosco.
Just down the street from the Prudential Tower.
Okay. You graduated from that school.
1965.
My. And then entered Northeastern.
Correct.
Paying your way by shoveling coal at the
Charles Street
Street Jail. That's great.
Yeah.
And then your co-op assignment was
Started in 1966.
in
At
West
General
Concord?
Radio Company.
West Concord then?
Yes.
66.
Yeah. It was out of Cambridge long time ago.
Yeah. And working for who?
Let's see, my first job was in incoming inspection.
Pappy Wade?
I don't recognize the name. I can't remember the name of my boss in incoming inspection.
Yeah, that's all right.
But I'll tell you a little story. I don't know how long you want this to be, but I'll tell you a little story. Incoming inspection. Now, I was shoveling coal nights, and I was working in co-op jails, so I was working.
Oh, you had
80 hours a week.
You kept that jail
All the
job.
while-
I didn't
all the while
know
I was
that.
in college. I worked a night job.
Yeah.
Night job. While I was co-oping, I was working 80 hours a week. When I was at school, I was working 40 hours a week.
And still living in Jamaica Plain.
No, we had moved to Saugus by then.
Saugus.
So,
Okay.
shoveling coal at night, the muscles are
Yeah, you were
pretty good shape.
Good
right?
shape, yeah.
So here I am, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid, and the guy at incoming inspection gives me a tray of cables with coax connectors on the end.
Yeah,
And he said, you have to inspect these cables to make sure the connectors are crimp strong.
yeah.
So, well, what's the test? He said, well, just try to pull them. If you can pull them off, if you can pull them off, they're too weak.
Yeah, and they were.
Okay. So he goes away, and I pulled off every head on every cable.
Oh, Jesus.
And he comes back, and all the cables are destroyed. Right?
Oh,
He
Christ.
said, what did you do? I said, I did what you told me. He said, if I can pull them off, they're too weak.
That's how we used to test Cap 22s, the power cord Cap 22.
Yeah,
that was
if I
the
can pull
test.
them?
Yeah.
He said, if you can pull them off, they're too weak. I'll never forget that. I'll never forget the look on his
I
face.
never heard that story. That's great.
So I spent a couple of terms in incoming inspection, and then I moved up to, let's see, the first term in incoming inspection was, the third term was service department, repairing Strobotechs, flash Strobotechs.
Oh, yeah, for who? For who?
Service department. So
Yeah,
who
who?
was the boss? So you remember everybody's names.
George from New York, George Ross?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, George Ross and Stan Podlensky, who usually comes
I
here.
remember
Yeah.
Stan in service, but I remember George.
George, yeah.
And then I think, a couple of terms in the service department, and then into engineering co-op, engineering CPO, not engineering design.
Dick Setti.
No, you were
Me. But didn't we have...
Dick said he came in after.
Well, he came in with me as engineer when we had a bigger group.
Yeah.
So you were working for me then in the
For a while, and then Dick
yeah.
said he came in a little later, I thought.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Makes sense.
So I
Yeah.
finished out my co-op periods in CPO engineering, and then went full-time in 1970 in CPO working for you.
Wow. And then what happened? Did I
Let's
leave?
see.
You
And
did.
then-
You
and
left
then
me.
You went,
Oh,
you
I
went
left.
to Bolton for something.
Well, was I in California? What year are you now?
No, we're still in the early 70s, so 73-ish.
Well, I went to
72.
California.
What year did you go to California? Because we were in Bolton
Around 73. No, that was later in Bolton.
after I came back.
Yeah, after I came back.
Oh, right after we both came back. See?
Yeah.
But
Where were you? Where'd you go? I went to California. Time Data.
you went to Time Data.
Yeah.
I was in CPO. Then
Yeah.
John Zapp, God rest his soul.
Yeah. Oh, you were in California with me, for
talked
Christ's
into
sake.
Going to work in the service, in the sales organization.
We were both
In
there.
California. We were
Yeah.
both in the same building for a while.
Right.
Right. You were over at Time Data. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
in the
yeah.
sales
Rick
organization.
Maero
Right.
and the dog that sat in Soderman's office. Yeah. I forgot those years.
We have a lot of parallels. Huh?
You were sleeping in a trailer out in the parking lot.
Right. We did work pretty hard to move the orders 10x. I still remember 700K worth of orders the year we got there.
Well, we
7
had-
million the year I left.
And then we had the big contract, though. You were out there for some contract.
That was what caused me to leave. We had a little conflict between John and I on whether or not to take on that big contract.
Yeah.
Ford Aero.
Ford.
Right.
The Ford contract, yeah.
I'll just sit down and
sit
listen.
down, yeah.
I'll just sit
Okay,
down.
you can listen.
Any
Sure.
green
I
brush.
don't see it again, but that's all
Yeah.
right.
So we had Ford Aero.
Pardon the
That's,
interruption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had Ford Aero. There was a big contract.
Where were you living? Outside the trailer. You were always in the trailer?
I was in Campbell.
Yeah.
Not far from Gil Trotman's Saratoga house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, he also had one in Campbell, didn't he?
That was when he went back there.
Yeah.
Years later, he bought one in Campbell.
Yeah.
We're talking about Gil Trotman.
Right. That's okay.
We're bouncing all over the place. Can you all follow this?
Well, it's interesting to me.
So at any rate, I spent from 75 to 78 working in sales in California, and then in 78 came back into the
And
organization.
I had gone back, and Mudema had taken over for me.
Right.
Yeah. Now, did you meet Chamberlain out there? Did
Yes,
we?
just
Yeah.
met him a few times. I didn't know him very well.
Yeah.
Went to a few dinners and stuff where he was the entertainment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tektronix, you're thinking now. He was on the tech board. But we'll get to there.
Yeah,
We'll get to Tektronix. Go ahead.
At any rate, after 66 to 70 co-op student, 70 to 75
Engineer.
basically CPO engineering,
Yeah.
75 to 78 sales.
Yeah.
I always tell people that that was a double culture shock.
That's right.
Going from engineering to sales was a culture shock, and going from New England to California was a culture shock.
Exactly.
Right? So
Exactly.
in 78, my wife and I decided we weren't going to raise our kids in California for a variety of reasons, and we took a job back at Genrad in Concord, working as a project manager for the in-circuit tester program, 2270.
2270. Yeah. You bailed it out, as I recall.
Well, no, the 2270 was up and running when I got there, and it was a good project and went well, as we know. And it was during that period after the 2270 was done, we formed this networking group,
Oh yeah. QMP
And-
eventually, but
Yeah.
network, whatever we
QMP.
called you. Yeah.
quality management products. We
Yeah,
built networks to tie all the testers together,
Yeah.
to track the repair data.
DECnet.
Well,
DECnet?
we
No.
did not use DECnet. We created a
GRNet.
baseband network that was basically Ethernet. The early
Yeah.
years of baseband networking.
Yeah.
Ethernet.
Balkus being one of the
Peter Balkus was my
architects.
engineering manager. He was the networking guy.
Yeah.
Tony Scotto was the software
Yep.
engineering manager.
Yep.
Right. And they spun that out as a separate product line to Bolton, working for you.
Yeah. QMP.
That's when, again, our careers
Merged
paths.
again. Merged again.
You go like this.
I'd forgotten that geographically as well as technically. I'd forgotten that.
So we worked together in CPO, and then you went to California. I followed you to California.
Same
worked in
building.
the same building. Although
Same
we didn't work in
building.
the same group.
Yeah.
And then
Dick Benson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we got the networking group going that worked for you in Bolton. And Bill Cabley was running the other product.
That's
line.
right. Component test.
Component test.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, let's see, in 1986, 85, Genrad was going through some turmoil.
Yeah. I retired. I took the early retirement.
Right. And I was...
Folks went off with.
I was
yeah.
tagged to go back to doing project management
Yeah.
because the functional tester, the 2250 functional tester project was in trouble.
Yeah. That's the one I was thinking of.
Dick Rogers asked me to come in and
Yeah.
finish the project for the
Yeah.
company.
Bail it out. Yeah.
We did, so we finished that project, got the product shipping, although the market wasn't great for very high-end functional board testers at that time, but the machine got finished, we got it shipped, and then Dick Rogers walked in my office one day and said, Richie, thanks for doing the tester project, you're now the Vice President of Engineering.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah, the VP of R&D.
I had forgotten.
That was
Replacing who? Ralph Anderson.
I think it was a restructuring.
Yeah, but hadn't Ralph
I
left?
don't know there was a point, I don't know if they had a person that was in that role before. They had the engineering departments in each product line and they wanted to centralize engineering.
Okay.
And product marketing. So
Okay.
they put all of product marketing and engineering under me. And
Who'd you have? What kind of names? Who was working
who
for you?
worked for me?
Yeah.
Oh God, you're a bad guy.
Well,
This is-
trying to remember
This is a quarter of a
myself.
century ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Already.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, England.
Yeah. Because I was the guy.
The simulator.
That's right. Because I had gone to England somewhere along the line.
Right.
And Roger was
Cirrus.
up in the north. Yeah, Cirrus, but Roger was up in Manchester.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd forgotten.
And the
those guys.
Manchester product line had, they were doing automotive testers, and I can't get his name out of my head running that product line.
Yeah. Peter Palmer. Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're good.
Oh, not good. Good on the old stuff. Not so good today.
At any rate, I was working for Bob Anderson, who succeeded Bill Thurston
Bill
as
Thurston.
CEO,
Yeah.
and did that from about 87 to 92. And in 1992,
You weren't living in that big house that I was in down in Fareham there, were you? I remember you used to.
No.
Yeah.
I had an apartment in Fareham that I'd stay in. I went to England for 1 week a month for about 3 years.
Yeah. But I remember Ralph and you came together. You were some kind of a team there at one time.
I worked
there in
for Ralph
England.
when I was doing the 2270.
Okay.
Ralph was engineering manager and I was project manager.
But I'm thinking of England. But then I remember Roger came.
I don't remember Ralph working in England,
No.
At any rate, in 92, a guy who I had crossed paths with while working as VP of R&D was a Tektronix guy named Rick Hill.
Oh yeah.
And Rick Hill was found himself in the midst of reorganizing Tektronix in 1992.
Yeah.
And they were forming divisions, forming 2 divisions, one to run all the old Tektronix instruments and the other one to run all the telecommunications equipment.
Now, was Cabley there at the time?
No, I hired Cable.
You hired him in.
And then
Moulton was in there.
Moulton, I think, had just left.
Yeah, he had worked for Hill,
I
I
think he left
believe.
just before 92.
Yeah, a couple of acquisitions, or at least one he had made that was in trouble, and that's where I think Cabley got into the act for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at any rate, I was recruited out of Tektronix by Rick Hill and company to become a VP of a division at Tektronix.
Which division?
Huh?
Which division?
The first one was all the traditional instruments.
Scopes.
Logic
Scopes.
analyzers, signal sources, power supplies. 2,000 base instruments in the cabinet.
Wow.
It was a $500 million business. It was losing money. Now, the guy that hired me, Rick Hill, was the manager, was the VP of that group
Yeah.
when I took it over, and it was losing money, so that was a little touchy. Because
Yeah.
I was there about a month,
Yeah.
and he said, all right, what's your plan? And I explained all the mistakes that I was going to change and correct, and
Yeah.
I was explaining all of his mistakes.
Yeah. Sure.
But did did that in that division for about 2.5 years,
Wow.
and became very profitable.
Living up the hill there, where were you living?
In Beaverton, up on a hill.
Beaver, yeah.
Yeah. Were you ever at my house in Beaverton?
I think so.
Yeah. You may be.
Cabley's son drove down and crashed into your yard or something. On the
Cabley
bike.
lived only 3 houses up from me.
That's right. I remember his son
right,
Will
yeah,
went down with the bike and went into your yard
I
or
was on a
something.
hill.
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah.
At any rate, then second half of the time I was at Tektronix, they put me over into the telecommunications equipment. Spent another 2.5 years doing that. And in that period of time, this Rick Hill left and became CEO of Novellus, a semiconductor capital equipment company.
Oh yeah.
He was on the board of a company called Speedfam.
Yeah.
And
Speedfam IPEC.
Well, I made it Speedfam IPEC. I acquired IPEC after I got there. Anyway, he recruited me out to become CEO of Speedfam.
Where?
Phoenix. That's how I ended up with a
Phoenix.
home in Phoenix.
Phoenix, yeah. Cabley's still at Tektronix?
Cabley at Tektronix, and then I hired Cabley out of Tektronix to work for me at Speedfam. And then...
and that's when he moved to Chandler.
That's when he got his place in Chandler.
Yeah.
That was about 19...
Oh boy.
70, no, not 70,
Yeah.
1996.
Yeah.
Right? I left in 92. I probably hired Cabley in about 93, 94. I stayed at Tektronix until 98 when I became CEO of Speedfam. Acquired IPEC, that's when I became Speedfam IPEC.
What products? Doing what?
Chemical mechanical planarization systems for semiconductor manufacturing. They're basically polishing machines that flatten the wafers.
Oh yeah. Sanding machines.
Sanding machines. To flatten the wafers in between layers of interconnect.
Gotcha. Right.
Very, 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 very fine sanding.
That's right.
Sanding at the micron level. It's crazy business.
Yeah.
And then in 2003, we sold Speedfam IPEC to Novellus. And
wow.
In that year, I stayed at Novellus for about 6 months to help with the integration, and then left and became CEO of a company in Salem, New Hampshire. My first stint as a manager of a startup CEO, venture-backed startup. They were doing actually research work. It was all MIT PhDs doing research work on how certain materials work to accelerate the speed of transistors. It was called strain engineering.
Strain?
Strain engineering. Straining the silicon to... Strain to treat the silicon in a way that would stretch the lattice a little bit, and then it would conduct electricity faster.
Gotcha.
So the business model was patent stuff and license the patents. Tough business model.
Yeah.
We got into a little bit of
intellectual property.
A little bit of a debate with a small company called Intel.
Yeah.
Won that debate.
Yeah.
It was actually a lawsuit.
Yeah.
So we ended up with lots of money in the bank. And then in the Great Recession, the VCs got in trouble and needed cash bad and they triaged us out of their strategy, and we had to pay back all the cash to the
owners,
venture capital owners.
Yeah.
I'll never run a venture capital company again.
Yeah.
Would you say demise was our success? What?
70 mil?
67 million worth of checks, I think I wrote. And now about a little piece of that spun out as a private company that some of the employees of the company and I still own, and we're trying to make that into a little bit of a solar cell company. And that's been limping along for the last 5 years now.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Chinese are killing you there, or?
Well, I've been on a number of boards. I've been on the Radisys board that Tektronix put me on in Oregon, and the ESI board in Oregon I got on a number of years ago. And we watched the Chinese come into markets. Radisys was telecoms equipment, in small processor boards that go in all the telecoms gear. And the Chinese got into the market, and all the margins in the market went away. They don't reach profits. Their goal is employment, not profitability. So they just wring out all the margins, and everybody works cheap. And
sure, kill you.
You can't. If you either start manufacturing in that country or go out of business.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
two choices. And
Yeah.
even then, it's very hard to compete
Yeah.
with any kind of volume manufacturing that the Chinese have decided to get into. And a number of years, the Chinese government made solar, full PV, solar voltaic cells,
Yeah.
a strategic industry.
Yep.
And they overbuilt the capacity, and there's more capacity in the world to make solar panels than solar panels needed. And they sell, I mean, they lost a case in the U.S. Selling solar panels in the U.S. lower than the manufacturing costs. They call that dumping.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my mention of the Chinese destroy industries.
Yeah.
Destroy the business model. So that almost brings me up to date. And when the VCs closed down Amberwave in 2010, I went into semi-retirement, just staying on boards and working with my daughter and her husband on a construction company building houses in Oregon.
No kidding.
I stay pretty busy. I'm
Which
the
daughter?
CFO, Wendy.
Wendy. Yeah.
Oh, I should
the
talk
young
about the
girl.
family. I'm still married to Jan.
Yeah.
We got married in 1968, so it's coming up on 50 years, 48 years.
Yeah. With the same woman.
Yeah, same woman.
Yeah.
And we had 3
kids,
Peter,
Heather.
and Wendy.
Yeah.
Peter had 5 kids. He still lives around here.
Is he in? He was in Maynard there for a while.
He was in Maynard, but then he moved to, he's in Acton.
Oh, is he?
He lives in Acton.
Oh, gee.
With 5 kids.
Heather.
Heather and Wendy are both in Oregon.
Who went to Hawaii? Didn't you ever?
Yeah, Wendy went to Hawaii for a while, but then she came back. So Heather has 2 kids, and Wendy has 2 kids. So I've got 9 grandchildren.
Wow.
My oldest grandchild is in her 2nd year of college,
No kidding. Where?
University of New Hampshire,
Great.
UNH,
Yeah.
studying nursing.
Wow.
And then the youngest is still in preschool.
Oh boy. That-
I think I'm done having grandchildren.
yeah.
They're done having grandchildren.
Yeah. Well, I'm into great grandchildren at the moment.
Congratulations, Howard. How many?
Well, it started out with one girl. She got to be 3. Had a brother. He's now 2 or so, and then they had twins.
Oh, geez.
And I'm going to see him this afternoon in Lincoln.
Do you still have a daughter in Albuquerque?
In Taos.
Oh.
Kathy.
How am I doing?
Not 20 minutes, I think. Not even a